Hi, I'm Casey, and I have a crush on food. And today I have a crush on roast beef. I'm going to show you how to make a very simple and easy roast beef. I have here about a 2-pound shoulder roast, but you can use rump roast or chuck roast, doesn't matter. If you have a roasting pan, great. I don't have a roasting pan, so I just put a rack on top of a cookie sheet like this. And the only thing that you need to do to it is put salt and pepper on it. So go ahead and put salt and pepper on all sides. I have the oven preheated to 500 degrees. We're going to cook it at a high temperature in the lower third of the oven for about 20 minutes to sear the outside. And kind of rub the salt and pepper in. And then after 20 minutes, we'll lower the heat and let it finish cooking. I'm going to finish seasoning the roast, and I'll stick it in the oven, and I'll be back. I've had the roast in the oven for about 20 minutes, so I lowered the temperature to 325 degrees, which is where it's going to cook for the rest of the time. So depending on the size of your roast, it might take up to an hour before it's done, but it's finished when you put a meat thermometer in the middle, the thickest part of the roast, and it's at least 125 degrees. So keep that in mind. On my website, crushonfood.com, my roast beef is served with roasted carrots, which is delicious. But tonight I'm going to make acorn squash. And acorn squash is prepared very similarly to spaghetti squash, which I also have a recipe for on my website and a video. So just cut it in half, scoop out the seeds, which is really easy with the acorn squash. I've brushed it with olive oil. I'm going to season it with just a little bit of salt and pepper. And when it's done, I'm going to turn it upside down on the cookie sheet and just let it roast in the top part of the oven along with the roast while the roast finishes. And when it's done, you can scoop it out and mix it with some honey and cinnamon or some brown sugar. Or you can keep it savory. Put some cumin on it, a little bit more salt and pepper if you want. So I'm going to finish up with the acorn squash, stick that in the oven, and I'll be back when everything's done. My roast is done, and it looks great. So here it is. And when you slice it, just slice against the grain of the meat and slice it thin. Let it sit for about 10 minutes before you slice it so that all the juice doesn't run out of it. You want it to stay juicy. And then my acorn squash, also done. Looks great. It's going to be really healthy dinner, really delicious dinner. So try roast beef.